Hello, everyone, and welcome back to RMTV Women's Podcast. This is episode 115, and today we are joined by our lovely friend Emma Sanders. Emma, how are we on this fine Tuesday evening?
Yeah, I've had better days. I've had better weeks, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've had better years.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you?
Pretty much. Yeah, fine. I mean, as good as can be. You know,
Good.
is what it is.
It's been a bit of a rough day, I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to forewarn everyone watching, we are very delirious. It's got to the stage of the day where we're just a bit like, it's been mad, it's been busy.
I've been whacking my head against the wall, it's alright.
Yeah, you just do that on a regular day, really, don't you? So
Yeah.
yeah.
It took us about 3 attempts to start this video.
It has. We've been on Zoom for 52 minutes before we started.
Oh my God, we actually have.
Yeah. So that just shows how long it's taken us to try and film it. So bear with. We'll get the hardest part out the way first. Obviously, Vicky Jepson has left Liverpool by mutual consent. Me and Amy gave our initial reaction to that yesterday. I'll put the link in the little box thing up there. But yeah, we just want to get your initial reaction as well. And obviously, it's hard to sort of wrap your head around, and obviously it's still fresh news for us as it was only announced this morning. But what was your first reaction to seeing that news?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised by the timing of it, to be honest. You know, Liverpool playing league leaders Leicester on Sunday, and they announced the departure of the manager. It just doesn't really make any sense to me, to be honest. In the middle of a transfer window, it's probably the worst time, surely, that you can kind of get rid of a manager. So it struck me as the kind of decision that probably would have been made with somebody lined up. I don't know whether that is the case from what I've been told. I don't think we can expect to see someone else in before Sunday, at least. Obviously, that might not be the case. That might change, but I'm certainly not expecting anyone else in before Sunday. So I was just really surprised. Obviously, from a personal level, I was really, really upset by it because, you two are the same. We've worked with Vicky for a number of years now. We know her well. She's given everything for this club. She absolutely loves Liverpool Football Club. She would do anything. She's been here for 12 years. As long as I can remember sort of being a part of Liverpool and, reporting on it and stuff, she's been there. She's been there and thereabouts. She's been involved in the women's setup, and I just think it's a really, really sad day, to be honest, for everyone, obviously, especially for Vicky. But I think it's sad for the fans because someone who's, given everything, it's just not worked out. She's been really unlucky with different circumstances. I mean, she came in 2018 because basically, she was there alongside Chris Kirkland because Neil Redfern resigned after one game.
The good old days.
Yeah, and then Chris Kirkland obviously left a few months later, and then she had to suddenly step up as manager. And then, her first full season was then pretty much coronavirus filled and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So
I mean, she's been dealt a pretty bad card, hasn't she? Really,
yeah,
for the majority.
It's been a proper whirlwind, and it's just, I just really feel for her because I know how much she's given, and I know you girls know the same. So I just hope that she can take some time now to reflect on how much she's achieved and be really proud of herself, because I certainly am, and I'm sure you guys are the same. And look, I wish her the best for the future.
Yeah, I think the reaction from players on social media this afternoon proves just how likeable she was and how loved she was at the club. She brought a lot of those players in herself and has nurtured a few of them coming up through the ranks and stuff like that. Obviously, some Missy Bokens she's been with since she was literally started at Liverpool. The likes of young players like Amy Rogers, she's helped her come through and whatnot. So it'll be tough for them, but yeah, it's just like we were saying then, it's just it just hasn't been probably what she expected it to be as her 2 years, for a global pandemic in the mix in your first full season. It's going to be tough for anyone. But there's, like we said before, we don't know who's going to come in. We don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks, couple of months. Obviously, rumours flying around immediately was that Matt Beard was going to be in charge, and it's just, that's obviously just talk and speculation, considering he's a free manager at the minute. But what do you think will happen, Amy, in terms of like going forward? How do you see things playing out, if anything?
I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to tell when it's something that none of us really knew was going to happen to begin with. There wasn't any sort of hint that it was going to sort of like pan out like this. So it's really hard to sort of wrap your head around it and try and then think of how things are going to go. I think we kind of alluded to it earlier. I don't think you're going to really find as good a fit. You might find close, you never know, but everything about Vicky was kind of Liverpool. She was just red through and through, and that's kind of why she fitted to Liverpool so well, because she understood like the values, the meaning behind the badge sort of thing, which I think any manager who's in that situation sort of works even harder to make it work, and she definitely did that. It's not going to be easy to replace her at all. I think the bond that she had with, Emma sort of said it, not just with obviously her team, but also with the fans and the media as well. It was such a good like working relationship with all of us. So it's going to be really difficult to try and find someone who sort of does the same thing and acts the same way. But I mean, you have to try and be positive. Maybe it just came to that time where something needed to change. I don't know, and I genuinely could not tell you a single person who I think should or could be that next person, because I literally have no idea. In all honesty, that probably doesn't help much, but it's just I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, it's too hard to sort of try and think of someone else being in that place. Yeah. Like, it's going to be so weird to not see it, like Vicky on the touchline, like giving her orders and just.
It's all we've known for this podcast, which is crazy. And she gave us so much time. But no, like win or lose, she'd always speak to us, and that just showed how much of a top professional she is. So obviously, I think she'll be fine in whatever she tries to do after this. It's just such a shame that she especially wasn't even able to see this season through, because who knows what's going to happen at the end of this season. We could be promoted, we could not, do you know what I mean? But then at least she had that full opportunity to sort of do it and show the outcome, whatever that would have been. So I agree with Emma, it's such a strange time to do it, isn't it?
Yeah. Like you said before, Emma, obviously Leicester on Sunday, which is like a huge game for our season. It's sort of probably make or break for us at this point, considering where we are in the league and the points difference and whatnot. But to obviously like lose your manager before a massive game, it will take its toll on the players this week, because you can see from the reaction how much they love Vicky as a manager. So it will be weird for them as well. That's what you've got to think of. They've obviously all had Vicky their whole time at Liverpool, majority of them. So it's going to be weird to have someone else in the dressing room, basically telling them what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, she's brought in a lot of those players. She's handed a lot of them their debuts. She's seen a lot of them through the youth development and coming through into the first team. So there's some players in there who I know will be absolutely devastated by this. That always happens at football clubs as well. Obviously the manager and the players spend a lot of time together. So especially with like this whole kind of coronavirus, when they've been in these bubbles, like they have essentially just been around the team and the staff. Yeah. So these staff have kind of acted as like, kind of support bubbles for them, essentially. Some of them have had to have been away from family, the likes of the internationals and stuff. So look, it'll be really difficult for them, which is like, it's one of the reasons why the timing just really confuses me ahead of such a big game, the biggest game of the season so far. It just really baffles me. But look, these players are all professionals. We know that they can play better than what they have been this season. They know that, and I think they will probably feel a little bit of guilt. Not that they should, but all players naturally do, when there's a casualty in the management staff, because at the end of the day, it's the management takes full for whatever goes on the pitch, and it's only the players who can go on the pitch and do the job. So I think they'll be really keen to kind of show what they're made of, and kind of say, look, we're going to do this. We're going to do this for Vic. We're going to do it for the fans, and we're going to do this for the badge, because they're professionals and they play for Liverpool. They know the expectation, they know the pressures, and they know that they're here to do a job, and that's to win football matches, and that's certainly to win this big game on Sunday. So yes, it will be tough, but I think everyone just needs to get behind the players now. They need to get behind the team. They need to get behind Amber, who's obviously stepping in charge now, and hopefully the team can deliver.
Yeah, very well said.
Very well said. I knew we got you on the podcast for some reason.
Right, I'm going now. See you later.
I've said all I need.
There you go. There's a social clip.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. You've done our work for us.
Yeah. I think we've all said what we wanted to say about the matter. I don't want to speak about it anymore because it's sad. It's still too soon.
It's going to take a bit of time to get over this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think like the names that are obviously, people will obviously speculate, and yeah, Matt Beard's an obvious one because he's a former manager and he's obviously available. But look, I think there's lots of managers out there who have got exciting profiles, and I think it'll only be a matter of time before we start seeing articles of,
they're all going to come from you, Emma, aren't they? All the articles are going to be from you.
I hope not, but yeah, probably. I mean, my boss will be on my case if not. But
yeah, well, we'll move on from the sad news, and well, it's probably more sad news for us because obviously we didn't really have many women's games over the weekend. It was a bit of a
Don't say the C word.
Don't say the D word either.
Oh, well, what else am I supposed to explain?
What's the D word?
Dubai.
Oh, don't say it.
Okay, let's just say the place in the sun.
Okay.
The really nice place in the sun where a lot of people travel to over the Christmas period.
Where most of the UK travel to over the Christmas period. It was only me, yes, Emma and Lauren who didn't go.
Yeah. Obviously that really nice place with the sun affected a lot of people, a lot of teams. We didn't get your thoughts on this last week, obviously, but like Dubai.
Too busy.
Yeah, we're too busy answering everyone else's questions. Like Dubai Gate was a big thing. It was going off on social media. It was going off on Twitter.
It's big.
Someone described it to me this morning as a Netflix series. They said, I was watching Twitter last week and watching all of you journos, and it was like a Netflix series. I was like, well, I'm glad we brought enjoyment because it was bloody stressful.
Yeah, it was like Dubai bingo.
It actually was, yeah. All I said was, as long as they don't make a season 2 on Netflix of that, I'm happy because that was horrendous.
It was honestly, it was ridiculous. I don't know what your view on it was. I think me and Lauren were very much in the same boat of, okay, yes, these players have actually kind of done nothing wrong because they were allowed to go, but we sort of thought, should they have been allowed to go at such a vital time? And then also when you sort of switch it back and you think, okay, so the top tiers of women's football are still going, but there's the lower leagues which have had to be forced to stop. Yet some of these players are jetting off and enjoying themselves when putting at risk even them and other players around them being able to play again. So it seemed a bit of a kick in the teeth in that sense.
Yeah, I think I look at it as from a moral high ground. These players are in a privileged position where they've been allowed to play football. Like you say, players in the lower leagues haven't been able to do that. They've been allowed to go to work every day. They've been allowed to see lots of friends, as in their teammates, the staff. They're allowed to get out of the house and be around a lot of people. Now, that in itself is already a huge privilege on a lot of the population. Yes, they're also putting themselves in a vulnerable position because they're having to come into contact with lots of people. So I appreciate that it must be a worrying time for them. They have to be away from their families, especially the international players, but that's no different to everyone else, that are self-isolating, etc. So while I do have sympathy, it's hard for everyone. They are human beings at the end of the day. They also need a bit of an outlet, and you can understand their frustration. But it wasn't like they were driving from London up to Scotland to go and see some family. They were flying over to Dubai for a holiday, and that really frustrated me because that to me isn't a necessity, and that isn't. I don't think that's a response. I don't think that's them showing the responsibility that they should be as elite professional athletes. And we talk about the WSL as being a league that other leagues in the world envy as one that is elite and has a level of professionalism. And then you see this week in women's football, and I just think it's really sad. And something that Emma Hayes said to me, which really resonated, was she said that we have a collective responsibility in women's football, so that's fans, media, the FA, organisations and players obviously, and clubs, to help grow the game. Now, all of the teams in the WSL, we know there's lots of different levels in terms of resources, etc. So you look at the likes of Birmingham, who struggle week in, week out to get a squad together, and then you look at Chelsea, who have got riches. But the knock-on effect of the C word in women's football is that, you know, one COVID positive, I've just said it, I'd say one C word positive can mean several self-isolation because of the fact that a lot of the female players actually live together. So that doesn't happen as often in men's football. So when you're talking about teams with smaller squads, 1 or 2 C word cases has a massive impact. And, you know, and it's not just one game that could get called off. The chances of like successive games getting called off is so high, and that puts serious damage on whether or not the league can actually finish, and that in itself is just not acceptable. So for those players to go away and put the league in that kind of danger just to have a holiday is just
doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, it's a bit of naivety, it's a bit of irresponsibility, and I think, look, we all make mistakes, and I think if someone was quicker to put their hands up and say, look, this is wrong, we realise that we have a great responsibility. Nobody did that until Casey Stoney did, and I think that was why there was so much outrage last week, and that was why me personally, I had so much frustration towards it.
So if some of them actually come out and said and apologised for going?
Nobody apart from Casey Stoney and Emma Hayes have.
Yeah. What's your take on that? So you think that they should have come out and
absolutely
publicly apologised?
I don't know why they haven't. Yeah, I really don't understand it. I don't know. Look, they must be getting some kind of direction from the FA or their clubs or whatever, because all of them are in unison in it. But I just don't understand really why they're not taking responsibility and coming out and saying, look, we made a mistake and we're sorry. Yeah, that disappoints me.
It would be the moral thing to do, wouldn't it? And I think it's all very well, maybe if it was just one player who came out and everyone's then pointing a finger, but because it's a collective group of players, you would have thought they'd be more inclined to all come out and say it. It's disappointing. I think it's the overriding feeling.
Yeah, and I think it's got to the point now where if one player was to come out, that player would actually be, I certainly would be praising that player for coming out.
I think everyone would.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's got to that point now where I'm speaking as a fan here now, because, and I've listened to, I went on a podcast, on a Manchester United women's podcast the other day, and their fans were so upset by it, and that really hit me, like the passion and like the frustration from those fans. And these are the people that are suffering here, is that these fans want to watch games of football. For some of them, it's the thing that they look forward to all week when they can't do anything. They're self-isolating, they can't go anywhere, they can't go to work. And they just want to go and watch their team play football, and they want to support them. And they've supported these teams so much during this pandemic. And then the games are off because of irresponsibility across certain groups of players. So it's not an apology to the clubs, it's not an apology to the media, to the FA, it's an apology to the fans. And that's why, for me, it's so important that they do that, because the fans are the most important people here, and they've not addressed them whatsoever. And that's why I'm really disappointed and really frustrated.
I feel like it's made worse because we know which players it is. It's not like it's a secret who's been, you know what I mean? Like, everyone knows who was there, who has got corona. Like, it's not absolute rocket science. Half of them were spreading it around on social media anyway. So it baffles me the same way it baffles you. Like, if no one knew who it was, I'm not saying it makes it all right, but then at least you're a bit like, who is it? But like, everyone knows who went and everyone knows who was there. Yet they're all trying to shove it under the carpet, saying, "Oh no, it wasn't me." Well, it was. So I don't understand what the whole point of that is when everyone clearly already knows.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like, you're right, because people, and I think that only leads to the frustration of the fans, is that they were all too happy to post it all over their social media when they were out there, and now they're all too quick to be very silent. So.
Yes. Anyways, no more D's happy place in the sun. No more.
All C words.
No.
Yeah, we won't mention any of those again, but we will end on some exciting, personally exciting transfer news, because Emma, sorry.
I'm just excited because you said transfer news.
Transfer news, yeah.
I was like, who are we signing?
No, it's not for Liverpool, unfortunately.
Oh.
But The Athletic reported this morning that US women's national team defender Abby Dahlkemper is set to join Manchester City, which is, I think, really exciting. Obviously, we've had a big influx of American players coming over to the WSL this season, especially, and then just add another one in the mix of Abby Dahlkemper is a really good footballer. Like, he's very good.
I'm not saying that name, by the way.
I've got a good analogy. What the WSL has done is they've got a fishing rod. They've put a bit of cheese on the end of the fishing rod. They've put it in. Sam Mewis has caught onto that, reeled it in. Yeah. We've got Sam Mewis, and now they're all wanting the cheese. They're all coming over. So
can I just ask though, if the cheese is on a fishing rod, the cheese would have fallen off by the time it went in the water. Would it crumble?
No, so you get pretty strong cheese that you can put onto the edge of the little hook.
But why cheese? Why not just like?
Because fish quite like cheese, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Okay, trout then.
Fish don't.
Trout is a fish, isn't it?
Yeah, but they use trout to bring in other fish. They used Sam Mewis as the trout to bring in the other fish.
Fun fact about Sam Mewis and Abby Dahlkemper: they've always played in the same team. And they've never played in separate teams.
That's
so
great.
They went to college together, and then when they came out of college, they signed for the same team.
So they both like trout.
So who's the leader and who's the follower?
Well, it looks like Sam Mewis is the leader at the minute, doesn't it?
No, she started a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She did.
Amy needs to go to bed.
She does. But yeah,
it'd be good to have her.
But so let's just get back to the actual football bit. Yeah.
I got distracted by trout.
Now she's frozen.
Yeah, now she went off.
Oh, God.
You're back now.
It was the trout.
She's more than likely going to go straight into that defence. There's no questions about it. And she's obviously more than likely going to go in alongside Steph Autumn because, obviously. My question is, what's wrong with Gemma Bonner? What's going to happen there?
Look, City have got they've got so many defenders now because Alex Greenwood has obviously come in. She's been playing as a centre back as well. So Gemma Bonner is already down the pecking order. She's already been struggling for games in the season. And you got to remember you got Aoife Mannion as well, who's obviously been out injured, and she'll be coming back soon.
Another one.
She was obviously in the starting lineup as well before. So I think it's going to be a struggle for her. I think she'll have to move. What are you laughing at now?
Never mind.
Carry on.
What did you say?
Another one.
Oh god.
Best DJ Khaled impression.
Oh right.
Oh come on, it was funny. Carry on, Emma. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, that was it really. Basically, they've got loads of defenders, and Gemma Bonner needs to go.
But
not in just And also, I don't know whether the Athletic stories said it, but BBC's Jo Curry, name drop. She reported earlier that it was a multi-year contract that she's been offered at City as well.
2.5 years.
Yeah, so that makes it interesting because it's not like it's just a short-term thing. So maybe Gemma Bonner is looking elsewhere. I think heard, by the way, that there is movement among centre-backs, perhaps within the WSL. So
I feel like if she wants regular game time, she's gonna have to, She doesn't want to sit wasting on the bench. She's too much of a talent to just be on the bench. Really, she'd go into any other WSL backline, surely.
Here, Birmingham are after centre backs.
Are you spreading rumours, Emma?
No, like I'm telling you now that I have heard nothing about Birmingham going into Gemma Bonner, but Gemma Bonner going to Birmingham, that would be like one of the best signings of January if that happened. Like, I think that would be brilliant.
I feel really sorry for her.
I do too, Lauren. I do too.
I feel like she's had such a tough, like. Obviously, she got the move to City after Liverpool, and that was like going to be a really big move for her. Obviously, she battled her way through. She finally got herself as a starting place in that side. She's been snubbed by England so many times. That's been a big talking point, and now all of a sudden she's down the pecking order again for Man City. And it's just sort of like, when's she gonna get a break? Like, when is it ever gonna be that Gemma Bonner's just recognised as one of the best centre backs?
I actually
thought be starting.
Yeah, I thought she was their best defender, probably alongside Demi Stokes last season as well.
Yeah.
So like, I personally
we'll have her back.
Yeah.
If get Matt Beater back and get Gemma Bonner, it'd be like the old seasons all over again.
Be like a Friends reunion.
Oh God.
What's happened? What, am I okay?
Oh.
You know what? It's been an absolutely horrific day. This is me, like, pretending that I'm okay, but inside I'm violently crying.
I think we're all just so tired from like mental exhaustion and like.
It's only Tuesday, just to lightens everyone's mood.
I've had to charge my phone twice already today, and I only got this phone like 2 months ago.
Oh,
that's how mad it's been.
You need to go to Apple about that.
Yeah, get some compensation.
I think
if anyone knows how to fix a broken Apple Watch, let me know. By the way,
you need to get that sorted.
Fuck this. Just.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That just sort of sums up the week.
Really. That sums up the day, especially.
People are gonna think I'm like a snob with 2 watches. This is my sister's.
Yeah. Okay.
Stole it.
It's my sister.
But yeah, anyone lets you know.
We should probably end this podcast now.
Yeah, we probably should. We're gonna go watch Twilight anyway. Try and we're just gonna.
I'm gonna eat some shortbread while watching Twilight.
Ooh, sounds
I'm
like
gonna
a
make
plan.
Snacks.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope you enjoyed this podcast. Obviously, let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below about the topics we have discussed today. And hopefully.
Bit, maybe don't talk about that one.
The first topic, no, just leave that where it is. But yeah, fingers crossed we'll be making a few videos after Liverpool. I've beaten Leicester City on Sunday, and hopefully a nice win for us. So I think it's what we need. It's what we deserve.
I'm going for a Fernie hat trick.
Lovely.
Out there.
The perfect hat trick, left foot, right foot header.
Just any.
Just any body parts.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's fine with me. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 1,500 subscribers. So if you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. Why not? We're lovely people.
Sometimes.
Why wouldn't you want to? But yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time with a new video. Bye.